Hey guys and gals, welcome to your first official Radix training video. I assume if you're watching this video that you've watched the prerequisite videos which explain all of the different plugins and other tools that we use to get the job done. So I may gloss over a few of those things as we're going by, but you should overall be familiar with the tools. In this video what we're going to discuss is an intro to the sheet, just kind of remind you of the layout of how everything looks, the information that we're given. And we're going to talk about Googling things, specifically different Google combinations that we can use in order to find different things like a LinkedIn, a website, or a Facebook, for instance. So with that, let's jump right in. First, let's discuss what we have going on the sheet. Just a reminder that what we're looking for in general is a company's website. We're looking for an email or two if we can find two. And we're looking for a personal phone number. We will discuss exactly how to determine what is a good website and what isn't. As far as emails, remember that we're looking for personal emails. So that's something like a Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, something like that. And as a secondary email, if we can't find a personal email, we can use a company email like @company.com. As far as finding a phone number, you will use either LinkedIn, Fast People Search, or True People Search, which you should be familiar with from the other training videos. Now let's talk about the other information we have on the sheet. We're given the name of a company, we're given the name of a CEO or the owner, we're given the original phone number, usually the business phone number, we're given the physical address of the building and the mail address. Sometimes it's the same as the physical address, sometimes it's different, so it's always worth checking. And we're also given what's called the DBA, which is doing business as. And I put the company name here again so you can compare and see. Sometimes you'll have a company name that it's registered under, let's say Ultimate Hair World, and the DBA, the name that this company goes by in the real world is TNSS Enterprises. So when you're looking for these companies, sometimes you'll have to plug into Google the DBA instead of the company name. So let's look at Googling. When searching for information like a website and an email, the best and most reliable place to start is a LinkedIn. That's because if you find the right person on LinkedIn and you find a website or an email or a phone number on their account, that is generally the information that can be used to contact them directly instead of, let's say, a secretary or some other gatekeeper. So with that in mind, let's look for Vincent Braccia's LinkedIn. So the first thing you do is you're going to copy the business name and paste it into the search bar. Now you notice that I'm writing "and" here. That's a very small but very important phrase. What it basically does is it's going to allow Google to search for the phrase before it and whatever I write after it, and both of them together. So it very much widens our search. So we're going to take the business name and we're going to take the CEO name and we're just going to search that. Now we can see in this case, just from searching these two things, we already got a LinkedIn of Vincent Braccia. I'll quickly review what information we can get from a LinkedIn, and then I'll go back and we'll talk about some other Google combinations. So on Vincent's LinkedIn, we know that we have the See Contact Info section, which has his website. We know that we have a Rocket Reach option, and his Rocket Reach has already been checked, which is why there is no See Contact Info or Add Contact Info button here. But you can see he has a personal email at Hotmail, a work email at Top Shelf Staffer, and a phone number. So what we would do is we would obviously validate these two emails. We would take that phone number, and we would check out his website to make sure that it's good, and then put it into the sheet. But let's focus on the Google searches for now. Let's just say that we didn't find his LinkedIn on the first search. Let's just say that these were our search results. So we didn't get a LinkedIn. What we can do in that case, and what's very common you're going to find yourself doing, and this is really a tried and true tactic of finding a LinkedIn, is we're going to add another "and" we're just going to throw on LinkedIn at the end, because sometimes Google doesn't know that we're looking for the guy's LinkedIn, and so it'll give us a website and a Better Business Bureau and other things instead. So let's search that. And you can see once more, it'll give back the LinkedIn as the first result. Now, we're gonna leave his LinkedIn open. We'll come back to some of the resources we can get back from it. But I want to point out what can happen also if we need to widen the search a little bit more. let's take Buschert Excavating with Jerome Ill for an example. Let's again put in the company name, and let's put in the CEO name, and let's search. So this time we searched the company and the CEO, and we got a website, we got a Manta, a Facebook, we got some good resources, even a Yellow Pages down here we can see. But we didn't get a LinkedIn, which is the first thing we want to find if we can. So what we can try and do is we can add in and LinkedIn. We'll try that. And you can see it gives us a LinkedIn. But you can also see that his name is Joe on this LinkedIn, not Jerome. And he's the owner of Buschert Excavating. It's obviously the same person, but maybe Joe is his nickname. So let's say that we didn't do that. There's another way, a very useful trick that we can widen the search. And not only will this potentially give us the owner, but if the owner doesn't have a LinkedIn, it might give us a different high-ranking person in the company. What we can do is instead of looking for the company, the person's name, and LinkedIn, we'll look for the company, the state that they're in, instead of their name and LinkedIn. So this person's in Maryland. So instead of writing MD, I would write and Maryland and LinkedIn. What this will do is anybody that has a LinkedIn with this business in their LinkedIn and this state in their LinkedIn will show up. All right, let's see. So we can see the first two things that came up are advertisements that they put on LinkedIn for hiring new laborers. That's irrelevant. But we can see Joe came up, and also another person from the company, a financial controller, came up as well. And that's very useful because if Joe doesn't have any email addresses, we can use Diane's email addresses instead. Since she's a financial controller, it's still relevant to the emails that we're looking for. Another side note is that when you see people with the same last name, it's very common to have married people either be working together or the husband will take out a loan in the wife's name or vice versa. So that's a very common thing to see, so don't be surprised when you see that. So those are some basic Googling combinations for LinkedIn's. Now let's talk about Googling combinations for finding websites, Facebooks, and other things. Let's take Ultimate Hair World as an example. So again, we want to start with the name of the business, and this time we're going to be looking directly for Ultimate Hair World's website. So we're going to shoot straight for her address. This is the case because most websites, most business websites will have an address on their website. So if you Google the name of the business and the address, chances are you're going to find a website. Let's see here. Okay, we got a result on the side website, and we can see it's the same address, so we'll check that out. We got a couple of other, here's the website that we just clicked on. We got a couple of other good resources as well that you should be familiar with, but I'll look at them as well just to show you. We have Yellow Pages, we have Better Business Bureau. We'll save the Facebook for a little bit later. Okay, so first of all, let's look at her website. And we can see that by searching for the website, it returned the website with the address that we were looking for. That's very important to verify when we're looking for a website that the address that we're looking for or the phone number listed on the sheet is the same so that we know it's the correct website. So the address is the same, the phone number 6900 is the same. Right here you can see that. So we would take this website and put it into the sheet. We'll go over that again later. And also, you don't have to find both a matching address and a matching phone number. At least one of them is good enough. But we'll come back to that stuff later. Yellow Pages, like I mentioned, another useful resource that we found. You can see this one has an email. If there's no email business option here, then there's no point in looking at the Yellow Pages. But the way to access that email is by clicking on your Email Hunter app, and it'll show you the email. Fantastic, it gave us a Gmail. So we can copy that. We can validate it. It's a Gmail, so we definitely like that. Put that into the email section. And we can also plug that into Sales Navigator and see if it gives us back to LinkedIn, which it does not, but it's always worth checking. Okay. Lastly, we have Better Business Bureau. It also has an email this business option. So again, the way we access that is by using Email Hunter, and it gives us the same Gmail that we just found. Okay, so what we've covered so far is how to find a LinkedIn, how to find a website, and if we were to search this with the address and we did not get a Facebook result, very simply, just add and Facebook. I think you should be starting to get the hang of the syntax of the different search combinations. So you can see we found Facebook, same as a website. With a Facebook, you want to check the About section, see if there's a matching address or phone number. You can see this address, 16 Moulter Place. 16 Moulter Place is the same address that we have in the sheet, so it is indeed the correct place. And we can see there's an email and a website as well. We'll talk about info emails later, but again, Facebook is an excellent resource. So those are some basic Google searching combinations that you can use. What we're going to talk about in the next video is exactly what to do with websites, emails, and phone numbers, how to know which ones you should prioritize, which ones you should use, and we're just going to kind of go through all the different resources of how you can squeeze emails out of different places. We've already discussed a few, but any that we haven't covered we'll go over in the next video.